How's it going, guys? KillKhast here. Welcome back to our very first slasher guide. We haven't had one of these on the channel yet. Let me first start off by saying thank you guys so much for the overwhelmingly positive reviews you guys are giving me. The comments are awesome. I love when you guys not only appreciate my content, but also challenge me on it. It's nice to see your perspective as well, not just mine. I also want to take this time to say, if you like this video, please go ahead and give it a like. That helps out a lot. The more likes I get on a video, the more it is shown to a wider audience. So if you think that this is helpful, and you want to help promote the video, maybe you want some of your teammates to run with a build similar or have a general idea of how the class works, please go ahead and give it a like. It'll help it get it out there quicker. Subscribe if you like the content, and feel free to go ahead and thumb through the rest of my playlist. I separated all my build guides into a separate playlist for you, so I have one of every class. But you've heard me ramble on long enough. Let's go ahead and get into the video. Here's my build. If you guys want to cut out now after seeing it, no hard feelings, I completely understand. But for those of you that don't want your general cookie cutter build, you want to actually understand why we chose what we chose and how it works and how it will benefit you, stick around, and we're going to go over in detail how this build works so you better understand it. Alright, so your first skill, obviously, no choice here, gotta have it. Shock troops. Start with the stun gun and compact SMG. Melee strikes damage 2 targets and do twice more damage when you're not tired. Melee attacks are not slower when tired. So that right off the bat tells you what this guy's going to be about. He's a melee guy. I mean, if the slasher name didn't give it away, he does melee. It's what he does. First one here, crowd control. Push radius for melee attacks increased by 50%. And where you might be thinking that that is a good idea, because you want the zombies away from you, correct? I think this guy shines when they're in his face, because you don't want to be chasing the zombies down to kill them with your melee weapon. You want them right up next to you, because the more that surround you, the more you can hit them. You don't have to be running everywhere, and you can proc your on-kill effects quicker, and we'll get into those later. They're a little further into the build. The one that I chose, all elbows. Movement speed penalty when zombies are very close, reduced by 100%. This helps you when you're not trying to engage, when you're trying to disengage, when you're trying to get out of the group of zombies. It's kind of like that oh shit moment, like I bit off more than I can chew. You're trying to back up, catch your breath. This will help you do that. Also, when you're surrounded, you won't be slowed when you're trying to make it to the next group to hit or your next target to hit, so have you. So I just feel like this helps you out a lot. Next skill here, rooted. The number of zombies required to pin you down increased from 8 to 12. This one I think would be a good alternative to the one that I picked. However, 8 to 12 zombies, usually when they're on you, you're meleeing them with this class, and this may be a good early skill to get because you don't have as many melee strikes as you do when you're level 30, but it just didn't seem very practical because you're killing them very quick. You one-tap normal zombies with your melee strike. The chance for 8 to 12 of them to build up on you is very slim. But if you're not a fan of all elbows, I would probably go ahead and give rooted a check. Next one here, I picked juiced up. Stun gun effect duration increased by 100%. Stun gun, I'm not using this for damage. This guy puts out an extremely high amount of damage on his own with his melee strikes. He does not need help from his equipment. His equipment is strictly a crowd control in this build. I'll probably take a look into later on, seeing if I can make a build where it actually does damage. With that being said, being able to CC them, crowd control them, hold them still longer is definitely a plus for this guy. The longer they're immobile, the more melee you can get in, the less damage you are going to be taking. Or even in a tight situation like an ally surrounded, you can go ahead and zap them all and he can go ahead and get out of there without getting overwhelmed. Next one here, Zeus, increased stun gun range by 50% and target count to 20. This one also can be helpful, but this one's more if you're helping a teammate, because no matter what the situation, you're not going to benefit as much from them being further away from you. So this is either you want to stun them so a teammate can take some shots, or maybe a teammate's overwhelmed so you want to stun them and get them off of them. This one I feel will benefit you in a team setting if you're just wanting to help out your team. That being said though, I know that most of my build guides I say help out your team. Zeus is just a little too situational in my opinion. I feel like this is just a good overall, all the time, always good thing to have. Last choice here, high voltage. Stun gun damage increased by 100%. Going back to what I said earlier, I do not use my stun gun for damage. I'm sure it can be. It does put out some decent damage on its own. It just wasn't practical because your guy does a ton of damage with his melee strikes and he actually benefits from them. So if a target's holding still, you're better off meleeing. Why waste the bullet, especially when you benefit from your melee kills? So I just don't see a point in trying to kill them right off the bat with your stun gun. Next category here, bullet dodger. Take 90% less friendly fire from bullets while performing melee attacks. This one seems like a good choice, and in all honesty it is a good choice. But if you just bear with me a second, let's go down to the next one here. Nimble. Take 50% less damage while performing melee attacks. That's 50% damage just round the board. If you've played the higher difficulties, Insane especially, and not to mention the new 6 skull difficulty that's coming out, and I believe like the 4th of next month, maybe the 5th. Don't quote me, it's one of those 2 days, I believe. Zombies absolutely shred you. So if you could take 50% less damage while meleeing, you're going to want that, especially when your character is focused on melee. You're just going to want that, trust me. Your teammates, unless you have someone that's going out of his way to be an absolute dick and just shoot you, you're not going to get hit by your teammates as much as you will zombies. So you're definitely going to want this. Last one here with my last breath. Melee strikes damage one more target when health is below 25%. Yeah, I mean, if you're in a sticky situation, you need one more hit, but I don't think that this is going to save you. I really don't. Chances are, if you're this overwhelmed that you're at 25% health and you're still attempting to melee to get your way out of there, I'm guessing you're going to be in a situation where you're either the only one left or you've just completely screwed yourself and you're way far away from your team. I don't see this skill saving you. It can come in handy, but again, it's not as practical as just straight up 50% less damage. Next category here, slice and dice. You and all teammates can perform more melee strikes. 2 extra melee strikes. That's very big before becoming tired. And even though you don't move slower when you're tired, your melee strikes don't do as much damage and they don't hit as many targets when you're not tired. So being tired on a slasher is an issue as well. That's underneath your character, you see those little dots, and every time you melee, one of your dots goes away. That doesn't mean you can't melee anymore, but it means your character's tired. So he does less damage, he doesn't move as fast, and he doesn't hit as many targets when he's meleeing if he's tired. So always keep an eye on that. You don't want your slasher to be tired. Next category here, Trophy Hunter. Deal 25% more damage to special zombies. I was running with this, and I always think it's a good idea to do more damage to special zombies. However, if you think about it, coming strictly from a slasher's perspective, he does exceedingly well at killing bulls. He's very, very good at killing bulls. And the reason why is he throws out a stun from a stun gun, it immobilizes the bull, you go behind him, and a bull's literally 2 to 3 taps from your melee, and he's dead. Doing 25% more damage to something that's already easily shredded just didn't seem necessary to me. I mean, with your guns, yeah, that would help, but a slasher just isn't a big shooter. I mean, yes, the point of the game is to shoot zombies, like I always say, you will be shooting zombies, but a slasher excels more in your plan B strategy, where plan A is keep the zombies the hell away from you, shoot them before they even get in your face. Plan B is you're overwhelmed, last resort, just start mashing the F button. This is where the slasher excels. He never wants to be the guy that runs in there and just on his own free will decides to get surrounded even though the rest of his team's fine. You want to stay back and shoot with your team, but on the off chance you get surrounded, maybe you're the last one left, anything like that, and your last resort is to just start mashing F, you'll see him excel. And he's actually a very odd character to play. His strengths aren't necessarily your primary goal, if that makes any sense to you. I kind of got off topic a little bit. Dealing 25% more damage to special zombies. The only zombie that you're going to be meleeing is a bull, and trust me, you'll shred him. You're not going to melee a gas bag. That is a very dumb decision. You'll get gassed. You just will. Lurker, I've never found a situation where I can melee a lurker before it kills me. I mean, I've had weird situations where a teammate gets a shot off on the lurker and I'm able to melee it just before it hits me, but on your own, you're not going to kill a lurker before it pounces you. Screamers, I mean, screamers are kind of a pushover. They just have decent amount of health, and chances are a screamer's going to spawn up on a ledge or in an inaccessible area anyways that you have to shoot at. So dealing 25% more damage to special zombies, it isn't needed. I mean, it's a good alternative, but it's not needed. Wheatgrass, I can see where this would come in handy, especially since your goal as a slasher is to melee. You're going to want more health so you don't get wrecked. But you'll see later on, zombies actually don't even bother you when you get into the groove of meleeing and killing a lot of them at one time. So having more health is it's kind of a waste. Silent Killer, start with a TMP5 SMG with silencer upgrade. Those of you that have actually watched all my build guides so far, and especially the ones concerning the builds, or the characters, sorry, they start with the compact SMG. Everyone knows how I feel about a compact SMG by now. It's not good. Forgive me if you're one of those people that do like it and wants to run the whole game with it. I've seen people do phenomenal with it. I, however, am not a fan. I hate it. I mean, yeah, you can get some decent headshots off, but when a horde's coming at you, it falls off heavily. So if I can get rid of that gun and get a better SMG, I'm going to do it. Like I say at the very end of every video, I will go ahead and show you how the guns stack up at the end. So don't worry, I will show you at the end. Next one here, Vigor. Killing 10 zombies in rapid succession with a melee weapon grants temporary health boost. Cooldown 30 seconds. This one, it is good. It's very good. You're essentially giving yourself a stim pistol while you're meleeing things. And most times when I gave myself this health boost, I would end up killing the entire horde that was coming at us before the health boost wore off. But the downside I saw to it, and the time it took me to kill 10 zombies, if I was surrounded, they would usually work their way through a quarter to half of my health on average. When that stim boost does wear off, or that health boost does wear off, if another horde comes and you're still on this 30-second cooldown, you're kinda not in a good spot. I mean, you're not necessarily screwed, you can still get your way out of it, but you're not looking too good. I chose Cloak and Dagger. Killing 10 zombies in rapid succession with a melee weapon grants a masking effect, and the cooldown still is 30 seconds. What I do with this skill is, I'm not as aggressive with it. This is more of a defensive skill, whereas I feel like Vigor is going to be more of an aggressive. You're aggressively going out of your way to kill zombies. You want to live longer in them. You're going to be the center of attention to the zombies. This one's defensive. There's a group of zombies. Maybe you're the last one alive. Maybe you're just surrounded in general. Either which way, it's a sticky situation and you want out of it. Melee 10 zombies, get the hell out. Back up. I mean, if you want to kill a couple more, so have you, go for it. But this is, you get a free escape. It's your get out of jail free card. It's when you're looking at probably imminent death, you'll turn invisible and you're able to get the hell out, regroup, take a breather, and come up with a game plan, as opposed to you're surrounded and you're just going to stay surrounded until either A, you die, or B, you kill them all. I chose this one. I mean, got a little bit rambly there with that one, but I feel like this is definitely going to be your best bet. Alright, next one here. Third Hand. Killing 10 zombies with melee attacks in rapid succession instantly reload your primary weapon. I have never been in a situation as a slasher that I've had to kill 10 zombies with a melee attack and my first instinct is to pull out my gun and then start shooting. This character excels in melee attacks. So if your clip is dry and you still have zombies in your face, your first priority is not to fill your clip, it's to kill the zombies, or proc your Cloak and Dagger and take a step back, and then if you want to reload your gun, I mean, you're invisible, so why not? It just seems like the cons, when it comes to this skill in particular, heavily outweigh the pros of Cloak and Dagger, in my opinion. Next skill tree here, Heavy Metal 1. Start with an improved Forest Warrior Chainsaw, deals 50% more damage and has 50% more fuel. All Forest Warrior Chainsaw pickups for you also improved. Now, even though usually my priority is not to max out my heavy weapon and make it the best possible, my goal usually is to stay alive. As it is on most of my builds, you'll notice that I don't actually go out of my way to pick the heavy weapon skills. I would rather pick something that has to do with survivability. This one actually heavily contributes to your survivability. The chainsaw, even though it is a heavy weapon, still performs melee attacks. So with your chainsaw, you get these benefits. A chainsaw one taps all normal zombies. I believe it 1 to 2 taps a bowl, if you can hit it in the back. If not, in the front, I think it's like a 5 to 6 tap with it. And one thing a lot of people don't know is you can left click to do your normal, like your slashes, your X-shaped slashes, or you can right click and your character will lower it like a freaking battering ram and you could just walk forward with it. So you can essentially cut your way through a group of zombies that are coming at you. Say you're on a bridge or something, or in a hallway. Literally lower your chainsaw and run. Well, I mean walk, but the chainsaw, in my opinion, works wonders with this build. Definitely let me know if you guys found a better use for the Taiga 12 here. But I feel as though the Forest Warrior Chainsaw definitely is your weapon of choice when it comes to a slasher, seeing as it's the only melee heavy weapon. I kind of touched on that one here. I don't think I need to go over it again. Last one here, Battle Cry. Automatically stand up from being pinned after 5 seconds. And you think that this would be a good choice because you're going to be surrounded. There might be a chance where you get pinned. If you've been pinned for 5 seconds, you're just screwed. I mean, I don't know a nice way to put this. If you've been pinned for 5 seconds, chances are you have no health. So yeah, you're just you're not going to do much when you get back up. I don't see any situation where this is going to save you. It's just, in my opinion, it's not. That'd be like a plan C right there, because plan A is don't get surrounded by zombies, kill them before they get to you. Plan B is where the slasher shines the most, melee everything. This would be like plan C. If your plan B didn't go good, you're really betting on this one. And I don't know. This skill just doesn't seem to hold enough weight to be useful. It's very situational. I just wouldn't get it, in my opinion. Next one here, Executioner. Perform one more melee strike before becoming tired. Melee damage increased by 50%. This is why earlier I didn't go with the Trophy Hunter. This guy already does a ton of damage with his melee strikes. And then your special skills, or your ones that you don't have a choice, already do a good job of buffing you up even more. You do a ton of damage. You just really do. And like I said before, you one-tap all your normal zombies. So this extra 50% doesn't even matter when it comes to the normal zombies. This is like special zombies and above. I don't really know what above would be, but yeah, above. So at this point, you're two tapping bulls if you get a back shot on them. And the easiest way to do that, like I said before, stun them. They'll flail around, do their little dance thing. You just run behind them and two tap them. But the main part of this skill that I like the most, perform one more melee strike before becoming tired. This guy he can swing for days. He just can. He has plenty of skills that allow him to hit more than one and do more damage. So there is no reason why, if you're in a group of zombies, especially if you're the last one alive, why you can't easily get this to proc. Again, I keep going back to this, almost trying to justify the reason why I chose this one. With things like this, where you can perform more melee strikes, more melee strikes, more melee strikes, I mean, hell, if you wanted, you could melee until you proc this, and then just sit there calmly, even in the group of zombies, wait for all of your bars to come back, where you're rested up again and not tired, and then go back at it. This character is he's very good at what he does. I mean, it's very situational where he shines, and if your team does good, you may never even see this character shine. But when it comes down to it, and he actually has to pull out the machete or shovel, for those of you that got the DLC, you will definitely see him wreck some face. Next category here, Shock Therapy. You will not become fatigued when melee attacking zombies electrified by the stun gun. This one I can definitely see as kind of like an oh shit type situation. Your character's tired, or maybe he's got one bar left. You still got a group of zombies in front of you. You could shock them and then just start wailing on them, and you'll never get tired as long as you're meleeing the ones that you shocked. And this one here would go really well with Zeus back here. They'd partner up real well, because as you can see here, you can stun more. So that's 20 zombies you could kill without getting tired if you partnered these two. And that would be a good choice. It's just, personally, that's not what I wanted to go for with this character. Next choice here, Samurai. Killing 15 zombies in rapid succession allows you to hit one more target per melee strike for 10 seconds. This skill is amazing, because you're going to kill 15 zombies with melee strikes. It's a one tap. But another way to look at this skill, in a way that I hadn't looked at it before, is say you are in that oh shit situation, your team's backed into a corner, and you've been firing off with a gun of your choice, whatever it may be, whether it's a SMG, whether you switch to something else. If you've killed 15 zombies, you already have this active. This is not melee sensitive. You don't only have to melee the zombies. You can just kill 15 zombies and you'll proc this. At which point then you can pull out your machete, shovel, whatever the case may be, and start meleeing them. And in 5 taps of the F button, you'll have procced this, because you'll be killing 2 at once. Like I said, he's very situational in his times of glory, but when that time comes, this character shines quite a bit. Next one here, Bloodlust. Killing special zombies with a melee weapon will increase firearm damage by 50% for 10 seconds. Like I said before, my main goal with this character is not firearm damage, because the guns, if you have them leveled up enough as it is, maxed out, whatever, so have you, you're already doing a decent amount. So as long as you're good at landing shots, this character does fine, even with no straightforward gun perks. Adding firearm damage just isn't the goal. Your goal is to, like I said, buff up for that plan B situation where you're surrounded, or your team's down, or it's just you, or you've quartered yourself, whatever. I don't see a situation where you're going to want to melee a special infected, then turn around and pull your gun out and start shooting. It seems very, very situational. So situational, in fact, that I've never been in a situation where this would have helped me. Next category here, spare batteries. Max capacity for stun gun charges increased to 4. This one is good. It's very good. This is the same argument that's always put up across every single character, whether to go with the extra to their equipment or pickpocket, where you can continuously renew their equipment. This character, though, he excels in killing. He just does. Tap F and you'll kill 1 if not more zombies, guaranteed. So killing 15 zombies in rapid succession isn't hard to do, and you will constantly refill your stun gun. Plus your stun gun has 3 charges. It's not like the smoke grenade or massacring grenade, sorry, that only has 1 charge. You have 3. Chances are you're not going to get caught without any. You're always going to have at least 1 left. Just that extra 1 there isn't really going to benefit you when you can just constantly keep renewing them anyways. Plus, all you guys know how I feel about pickpocket. I love it. I do. If you can give yourself an endless amount of equipment, I feel like go for it. Next one here, Lone Shark. Killing a special zombie gives a 25% chance to restore 1 charge to your equipment. Same argument that I make for every character. Your team's primary goal when it comes to a special infected, say a lurker, a bowl, a gas bag, screamer, whatever, they're gonna single it out. They're gonna go for it first, then the horde, if possible. Trying to beat your team to killing the special zombie so that you can have only a 25% chance to proc this perk isn't practical when the levels are loaded with normal zombies. Why not just get the one where you only have to kill 15 normal zombies to get this to proc? I don't see this skill very useful on any character. On to the last category here. I picked Flash Sale. Using the stun gun restores 1% of your primary weapon's ammunition for every target you stun. And like I've said before, I'm not just firing off my stun gun like all willy-nilly. I am definitely saving it for situational use, and that situational use is either A, a bowl, or B, I'm cornered, teammates cornered, pretty much just an oh shit situation that I need some crowd control. And if I'm in that situation, chances are I'm going to want more ammo anyways. Even though I'm going to be meleeing, I'm still going to want more ammo. So why not go ahead and give yourself more based on how many you stun? I mean, hell, even if it's 1, even if it's just the bowl, I mean, you still got 1% free ammo back. Why not generate some free ammo? Swapping mags, SMG's reload speed increased by 25%. Like I've said before, and if you guys haven't come to find this out yet, there's actually I would consider it a glitch, I guess, when it comes to reloading. When you reload, there's this little circle, the little radical that needs to fill all the way up. When it gets to halfway, 50% full, if you melee, you jump, you switch guns, whatever, do some kind of action to cancel that reload, your gun will still reload. As long as that circle got to 50% or more, you can cancel the reload and your gun will reload for you. And a very good way to cancel that is with melee strikes. This character just so happens to excel in melee strikes. I feel like you already have a 50% faster reload speed time with this character. Why do you need an extra 25%? It just seems unneeded. Last one here, Adrenaline. Reload speed increased by 50% when health is below 25%. If you use the, I guess, glitch that I told you before, you don't even need this. You already have a 50% faster reload speed. Why do you have to wait till your health is at 25% to get this to proc? I don't see any situation where I'm going to be 25% health and think, oh shit, I need to hurry up and reload my gun. If I'm at 25% health, chances are I'm surrounded and I'm just mashing F furiously, hoping for the best. The build's going to take care of you when you're mashing F. You're going to turn invisible, you're going to hit more zombies, whatever. You're not going to be stopping to reload. You just aren't. Last skill here, Blade Master. Melee strikes damage 1 more target. And like I've said all throughout this build takes care of you. When you're in the oh shit situation and you're mashing F, the build just does its thing. At this point, you're hitting 2. Where's the other one here? Right here. So you're already killing 2 zombies off the bat with this one. After killing 15 zombies, you're now hitting an additional zombie. So once you have this skill procced, you are hitting 3 zombies at once. You're going to get this to proc within 3 to 4 swings. So, like I just keep saying, this build it takes care of itself. When you are stuck in the situation that you just need to mash F, it just works. It just flows. Do you need to go out of your way to get yourself in a situation where you need to mash F? No. No, you do not. You do not need to rush into a group of zombies. Just don't do it. Like I said, if you want this build here to shine and you really want to dazzle your teammates by never going down and being the hero of the team, so have you, wait until that plan B moment happens. where your team is screwed, where they're surrounded, where you're surrounded, where everyone's pinned, where you're the last one alive, whatever the situation may be, then just start mashing F and you'll look good. You won't die. I mean, if you play smart, that is, you will not die. Like on all builds, I am going to go to the guns now, and I will cut back when I get there, so I will see you in a second. Alright, so this is your compact SMG. Like I've constantly said, there's no point in maxing it all the way. You get a little bit more power, but you sacrifice the silencer. And the silencer is a must-have on insane difficulty, and especially with this new difficulty coming up, please run a silencer. Just please do it. You do not want to be loud. If you're loud, you piss off hordes. When you piss off hordes, they surround you. When they surround you, your team gets pissed off at you and asks, why aren't you running a silencer? This gun already has terrible damage. Don't rely on that tiny little boost to make it a good gun. Run silencer, please. Your SMG over here, which is your advanced SMG, starts out like this. I mean, it's decent, whatever. But its base stats are still better than the base stats of the compact SMG. It doesn't really take too long to level up because this gun is actually pretty decent at hitting headshots, especially for an SMG. It's weird, but it works. Alright, your very end one here, rank 4 with the silencer. Again, please run the silencer. That tiny little bit of an upgrade in damage is not worth constantly risking your team every time you fire off a shot. That has been it for the guns, because there's only 2 guns that you can have on this build starting. I mean, you can switch to other guns. So I will cut back to the build, and I'll see you in a second. Alrighty guys, this has been my slasher build guide. Again, this is the build here for you to look at one more time. We're going to go through it one more time so you get a gist of things, and then we'll get you on your merry way. This right here, off the bat, tells you what you're going to do. You have a stun gun. You like to hit things in the face with a machete and or shovel. This one here helps it to where you never get overwhelmed. You can play it safe. You can constantly move when you're in the horde. So when you're in the eye of the storm here, you are more than okay. You are so comfortable because you can still move. Juiced up, stun gun effect duration increased by 100%. This is your, you want crowd control, you're out of other options, you need to hold them down for a little bit. This is going to help you in those situations. A good alternative, I'd probably say Zeus, but again, I like juiced up better. Nimble, take 50% less damage while performing melee attacks. When you're surrounded in a horde and you can't hit the ones behind you or to the sides of you and they're still hitting you, trust me, you're going to want them hitting you for less damage, because on insane, and again, with the new 6 school difficulty coming up, they're going to 3 to 4 tap you. Normal zombies will. So you're going to want to take less damage from them as opposed to your teammates. Slice and dice, you and all teammates can perform more melee strikes, 2 before becoming tired. Speaks for itself. I don't even think I need to say anything about that one. Silent killer, I got a better gun, as I just showed you how the gun stacked up. I like that one better. I feel like this is a bit redundant, as you already shred bowls, and that's the only one that you're really going to go out of your way to try to melee. Next one here, cloak and dagger. Took this so that if you want to get out of the group, you can. If you're surrounded and you don't want to be surrounded anymore, you do have an alternative. You don't have to just stay in there and just go toe to toe with the zombies and hope for the best. You can escape if you want to. Heavy metal 1, I want the chainsaw. Why would you want a heavy shotgun when you can just chainsaw zombies? It's a stereotype. Everyone loves chainsawing zombies in every game. Just do it, it's fun. Next one here, executioner, perform 1 more melee strike before becoming tired. Melee damage is increased, you get 1 more melee. Speaks for itself. Samurai, like we talked about before, you are at the end of this build going to be able to hit 3 zombies at once. Next one, pickpocket. Like I tell you on all my characters, I love pickpocket, and with this character in particular, it shines. It just does. Next one, flash sale. Why wouldn't you want free ammo? It's just appearing out of thin air, you may as well take it. Last one, melee strikes damage 1 more target. It's a good way to wrap this character up. It tells you what he's all about. From beginning to end, he's pretty consistent. He melees. I have rambled on long enough. This is probably going to be a little bit of a longer video because this guy's a little bit different. If you guys have suffered through all the way to the end of this video, thank you very much. I do want to hear back from you guys in the comments. I love hearing your guys' comments. I like looking at things from your perspective, not only mine. And I like to hear back from you. Just get your guys' feedback. Please go ahead and drop a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Please, that will help out immensely. The more likes I get, the more it broadcasts this to a higher audience. If you feel as though it's a decent build guide and you want other people to see it so that maybe they can better understand slasher, or just, I don't know, maybe look at slasher a different way, the more likes you get, the more this goes public, the more people can see it, the more people can learn. Subscribe if you want to see more of my videos, if you want to see more content. You can also hit the bell notification. That way you will be up to date with everything that I put out, because YouTube doesn't always notify the subscribers when I put out a new video. If you hit that bell, it always will. But guys, I have definitely rambled on long enough. Let's get you guys out of here. You're definitely going to want to go back to killing zombies, and I don't want to take you away from that. So without further ado, I've been KillKhast. You guys have been absolutely amazing, and I cannot wait to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.